just looking at the free agent market right now for corners that are available. I'm going to read off some names to you. I got it's just a good amount of names that I have right here, but I want to get your thoughts on it. It's a ton of cornerback options, and we have the resources money-wise to go, a couple of ways with this thing. But some of the names that are available on the cornerback market. Start with Stephon Gilmore. You got Xavier Rhodes. You got Chris Harris. He's available. We know 2 former Pittsburgh Steelers, Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson, are available on the open market. Trey Waynes is a guy that we've talked about. Vernon Hargraves III is available. Jack Rabbit Jenkins, and that is officially the name that they're using on NFL.com, just throwing that out there. But Jack Rabbit Jenkins, he's available. Kyle Fuller is another guy that's available. Yeah. Kevin King, available. AJ Bouye, and then Josh Norman. Any of those names make you feel some type of way? Any of those names make you think, I could see us spend a little bit to get one of these guys? What's your thought process on them, man? Or if there's somebody that maybe you have that, I didn't put up, Also in this conversation, man, let me know. Yeah, and in the chat with the names we just read off, what I was going to say, and in the chat, let me know too with the names that we just read off, man, are any of these cornerback guys that, you could potentially see the Steelers targeted, or you would still want the Steelers to target right now, whether we're talking prior to the draft or post-draft?
It's weird. Before signing your boy from up in Buffalo, Levi Wallace, I'd have been all for a number of these dudes. I mean, particularly Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
But right now, we got Witherspoon. We got Levi Wallace. We got Cam Sutton. I'm kind of set on this cornerback room right now, outside of maybe drafting one in second or third round, something like that, just to build some depth around. Just because whenever you look at all these dudes, what age are they around? 29, 30, 31, 32. And whatever deal they sign, I'm assuming they're going to be trying to get the starting role. That's why we talked about even Joe Hayden after we signed Levi Wallace, after we signed Witherspoon. We're just like, I don't know if we really see a fit for him coming back. Now, there might be some more higher-end guys like Stephon Gilmore or even Steven Nelson out there. But I have a similar sentiment. Like, I'd be fine signing them, but I do think their cap hits are going to be a little bit too much for what we want to spend. And the next question is then, what's their role?
Well, I guess my rebuttal to you is this, though.
Go ahead.
You're completely fine if we spend on Tyrann Mathieu, right?
Yeah.
I just look at it like, what would be the biggest difference if you're taking that money for a Tyrann, you spend it on a Stephon Gilmore? You're still going to have a proven cornerback one, a guy that we currently do not have on this roster right now. We have good talent at corner. We have the optimism surrounding Akello Witherspoon, but right now we don't have a legitimate cornerback one. So that's kind of like why I look at it like this, and I say, man, I don't necessarily balk at paying a Stephon Gilmore with this group and then still going and just saying, we'll just draft the guy to play the safety position. Like, I think that that's still the alternative. That's another option to you. Or if you went a little bit low end, Xavier Rhodes, I think he's still going to cost. But I think he will be a cheaper option, though, than both Gilmore or even we talk about the Tyrann Mathieu element of it, who still gives you a lot higher in talent, a lot higher in productivity as well, in contrast to Levi, in contrast to Akello and Cam Sutton. Because with all three of those guys, right now, if we're being real about it, Levi is probably the most proven of the group. Whereas with Akello, we said the sample size of him being productive to this level was small, which is why the money reflected that. And with Cam Sutton, we still feel like he's a better slot corner than he is an outside corner. So that's why for me, I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, does it make sense to bring in a more proven guy? Whereas when you're talking about drafting a corner, we know, number one, the history of the Steelers drafting corners of lately has not been what we would like it to be. So there's obviously a little bit of skepticism with that. But also just knowing that, man, if Akello isn't who we're hoping he can be, we could be in a little bit of an issue here. And that's why I'm saying to myself, like, granted, I don't want Joe Hayden to come back in that same vein, because I do think that Akello has caught up to where Joe is. I don't think Akello has passed him, but I think that they're similar in terms of what they could give us going into this season. Plus, Joe's a lot older. But Gilmore, I think, is still in a class that is the top guy of all these corners right now. Mm-hmm. But it's 2 for 8 breaking the bank. No, it's not, especially for the corners. That's a $4 million per year average, right? It's the same deal we gave Levi Wallace. It's good money, but that deal is not too far from what we did to Cam Sutton, if you're thinking about it. So none of that screams, hey man, we don't bring a guy in above them. We don't draft a guy at that position. That's just kind of why I look at it like that. And I say, well, hey man, maybe we do need to spend a little bit more in that room to solidify it.